Hello and welcome back to Simply Pilates. We have another reformer at-home workout. So I'm on my Pilates Power Gym and I'm going to start to warm up. So go ahead and lay back. I have my cords on 1, 3, and 4. I want it to be pretty good resistance because I'm warming up the legs. Pressing myself back into the shoulder pads. Get myself adjusted. Already focusing in on pulling in at the waist. So feet are going to be on the foot bar. Feet are going to be parallel. I'm going to go into a knee bend. Feet are together, knees are together, pressing into one another, already activating the inner thighs and lifting up through pelvic floor. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. I have a tendency to hold on just because I feel like my hands are on my shoulders, kind of cueing myself to keep my shoulders down, but you're welcome to leave your hands long by your sides or keeping hands on those hip points. Try and remind that stabilization here at the pelvis. 2 more. And 1 more. We go into Pilates turnout. So heels are together, toes are apart. And we open those knees apart and then we zip up through those thighs. Inhale and exhale. So you are monitoring your own resistance here. You decide if you want it to be a little bit less and you're having to control the carriage each direction because there is not a lot of resistance, or creating a little bit more resistance, again, pulling in through that pelvic floor, corset in that waist, make sure the rib cage is nice and flat. We're not popping at the chest, opening that rib cage, collarbones wide. 2 more. We go 2 and 1, zipping up nice and long. Feet are going to go onto, I have the mesh, which becomes a little bit more like a trampoline. Feet are going to be a little bit apart, and from here I go into pressing off of the toes, creating some distance. I'm going to hold on to, I'm going to be using the hand straps in a little bit. I'm just going to hold them to keep them out of the way. Woo! Warming up, getting a little bit of cardio here through our footwork. Bouncing off of that, what would be footboard. 7 and 6, 5 and 4. Belly still in. 3 and 2 and 1. Slowly lower down. All right. I'm going to take the strap off. I'm going to lower down just so I can warm up my calves. So toes are going to be on. And I'm going to draw down, lengthen through the heels, pressing heels long, lifting up onto toes. Feet are in parallel first. Lifting up. Legs are straight. You don't have to lock out the knees. There could be a little bit of a bend in them. Focusing on that calf muscle though, getting lots of length and stretch, and then flexing and lifting and contraction. Pressing low, lifting up. Back can be in that neutral spine. Rib cage is soft. Just gazing up towards the ceiling. We go 5, 4, big reach and lift. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Whoo! Open toes, heels together. Pilates turnout, go again. Keep those heels together. Drawing down, lifting up through toes, actively pulling up through the arches of the feet. In this turnout, you're going to feel the calf muscles already warmed up, but now we're hitting the outside of those calves. 7 and 6, 5 and 4, 3 and 2, 1, lower down. Now I'm going to go pigeon toe, toes in, heels out. A little bit more of an awkward movement, but we're going to go again. We lift and lift, big stretch. Now stretching the outside of those calves that we were just contracting. Now we're lengthening, and now we have that inner side of the calves. Focused. 6, 5 and 4, 3, lifting high, and 2, and 1. Go ahead and release. All right, I'm going to take a little bit of the resistance off. Let's move this up. Doesn't matter if you leave it down. We're not going to be using it again. Or at least if we do, it won't matter if it's connected or not. Just going to get it out of the way so I can see my bands more, my resistance point rather. So I'm going to leave it on a 1 and a 3. Hands are going to go into the handles. And I'm going to start in with some core, warming up, starting with our hundreds. Knees go into tabletop. I'm going to lengthen the arms. I'm going to lift up the shoulder blades up off of the mat, off of the carriage, but you don't have to. You could remain laying down. Legs can stay in tabletop or legs can go in extension. We start to pump. Inhale and exhale. Inhale 2 and exhale, looking towards those thighs, thinking lengthening through those toes if you have legs straight. Otherwise, legs continue to be bent. If your legs are bent, make sure those knees are pressing in towards one another, activating the inside of those legs. Also, if legs are straight, we continue to go. Inhale and exhale. We go for 6. In and out and in and out. Here's 8. We go in. Can you lift higher? And out. And back is neutral if you can. If not, belly button to the carriage. Last set here. Inhale and exhale. We stop and we slowly lower ourselves down. Releasing the carriage and we rest. Well done. Going up for single leg stretch. Lifting everything up. We go into tabletop. We pull in and we switch. We switch and switch. Arms are holding, helping to lift that upper body, lengthening through that straight leg. Back stays in completely neutral position or imprint. The lower the legs, the harder the challenge. Up a little higher is going to give you a little bit of relief. To immobilize that spine, we go 3. And neck starting to hurt, lower yourself down 2. And 1. We pull in and we release carriage. Going next to double leg stretch. Lifting up through the upper body if you wish, otherwise remaining down. Otherwise, we go extending long. Again, this is harder. This is a little bit easier, but still a challenge. We're going to bend and extend. I'm going to add some arms. And extend. Lowering the upper body while hands go to the ceiling. Hands, fingertips reach towards those toes. Shoulders lift up. Arms stay long. They do not need to lock out. Inhale. Again, back stays nice and immobilized. No movement in the position of that back. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more. Inhale. Exhale. We're going to hold. 3 and 2. 1 and release down. Woo, good job. Core should be fired up right now. We're going to come to a seated position. Going into the arms. I'm going to release. I'm going to go, instead of a 1 and a 3, I'm going to go 1 and a 2. I'm going to take my legs up into a fairly mermaid position. Taking the one arm closest to the front ring. Taking this up. I'm going to shift up long and control that lower down. Lifting up. Think about the posture right now. Are you anchored through both sits bones? Sitting up nice and tall, thinking about the posture. Anchoring down into that carriage. Keeping your collarbone nice and wide, but those shoulders stay down. So the tendency is going to be to start to take some tension in that shoulder on that lift. Maybe not lifting the arm as much. And if it just keeps going back there, you're going to want to lessen some of that resistance. So when you lessen the resistance, you're going to feel yourself on that return, having to really manage yourself on that back down. Belly's in. Another cue for that pelvic floor connects. We got 5 more. Inhale. exhale, inhale. We go exhale 3, inhale. Exhale, one more, inhale. Exhale, let's go ahead and spin over to the other side. Woo! Bicep, shoulder, excuse my back. I'm going to the other side. So again, sitting up tall, both sits bones are anchored down, and we go into the shift at the diagonal. Elbows staying fairly lifted. Remembering, collarbones wide, don't pop in that chest. Shoulders down. Inhale, exhale, 5 more. Inhale, exhale, 4. On that reach, really connecting the abs. The obliques are stabilizing you. We've got 2 more here. 2. And 1. And we lower down. All right, we're gonna spin the other direction. If you're able to get your feet up, press them on the shoulder pads. If you can press yourself back with length and sit up nice and tall, fantastic. I know that I'm gonna need to add some resistance for this. So I'm going to add a 4. So I'm on 1, 2, and 4. Elbows are gonna be high for my chest pulls. Pressing through those feet, getting a little bit more stretch through those legs. Try to straighten out those legs for extra stretch. Too much tightness, bend the legs. You wanna focus on tall back. So if your legs are straight but you're hunched, we're not in the right position. Bend those legs, sit up tall, elbows high, and we go for that pull. Slow on that release. As you release the carriage, right here, I want you to pull in those abs. In and out. So breath pattern can be the same as mine or opposite, but I want you to find your pattern. So it can be an exhale, inhale if you prefer. Elbows high, collarbone wide, shoulders down. All the same cues, lifting through pelvic floor, crown of the head pulling to the sky, keeping that neck nice and neutral. So we're not shifting the neck up and we're not tucking the chin. We want to keep that head reaching to the sky. We've got 2 more. Pulling up. Belly button is in and up. And 1, release. Keeping the resistance, elbows now draw down. Thumbs face the ceiling. And we go into a row. So scapular bone staying down, super important here. So what I want, somehow, my body will want to pull back and start to hunch those shoulders up, trying to really grip it. If that's the case, lower your resistance. Otherwise, elbows draw back, pulling scapular bones towards one another. And as you release, keeping that chest in that same position. So we're not collapsing or hollowing at the chest. We pull back, we release. This is just happening through those arms. Elbows are pulling back. Spine is stable. Nothing is moving other than those arms. We go 6. Releasing back, slowly allowing that resistance to pull you back. We go 4. And 3. Nice and tall on those sits bones. 2. 1 more after this. This is our last one. And we release. Good job. Go ahead and release the handles. I'm going to take some of this weight off. So we're going to leave just a 1 and a 2 on. I'm going to move this strap out of the way. I'm going to go into a nice lunge, a nice wide, deep lunge. So I'm holding and stabilizing a lunge here. My front leg is the one closest to the carriage. That same hand is going to go on the carriage. And I'm just doing a shift back and back, keeping the back long. I feel like it's a little too much weight with all of it, but I don't want to go just to a 1, so I'm going to take my 1 off and go to a 2. So again, back is flat, hand is reaching, pushing back along with a straight elbow, back, focusing on those triceps. 5, 4, chest is straight. 2, and 1. Release, come on up. So legs were working, arms were working. And we step back. Again, front leg is the one that is closest to. Now you're gonna get a better view of what this looks like on this side. Stabilizing long, leaning into front leg. Back is a nice flat board, including the neck. Other hand is on the hip. Right hand pulls back, chest stays square. All of this is in the triceps. If 2 is too much, throw yourself down to a 1. Back, slowly return the carriage. That's the work. Shoulders down. I can feel them creeping a little bit. We go 3 more. 3 and 2 and 1. And if you want, hold on. Get yourself up to lift it. Okay. Adding a little bit of resistance here is going to help out. So I'm going to go for a 2 and a 3. I'm going to go back. I'm going to get myself into a plank position. I'm going to pull my knees in and back. So if you have more resistance, it's going to make this a little bit easier. Woo! Trying to keep pressing through those wrists. Lengthening and pulling that belly button into the sky. Through that spine. 5 and 4. Try not to sink here. Pull yourself up. 2 more. Good job. Now we're going to do a little bit more of a pike up. So lifting ourselves up. We're going to low back. Pull up, scoop in that belly. Lower back. Scoop in. Back. And scoop up. 5. Slow and controlled again. The more resistance, the more help you get here. The lesser resistance, the more your body has to slow this down. Ooh, I lost count. I'm going to say we got 3 more. Down. We go 3. Down. So a lever's created. And 1. Hold here. 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and release the carriage. Lower your knees. I'm going to walk my feet back a little bit, and I'm going to go for a stretch. Ooh, lengthen out. Press the chest down. Roll out the wrists. Good job. All right, we're going to switch out some of the band work. Here, we're going to take these off. Your Pilates Power Gym has the red straps with the Velcro that you can put around. I had gotten these straps with another Pilates prop, a Pilates stick. But I just think they're a little more comfortable. I don't like the red straps. So let's go a 1, a 2, and a 3. We're going to put our feet into the straps. And we're going to lengthen out. Let's go into a lower down. So what I want you to do, put your feet on the foot bar. I want to see if you can find yourself a neutral spine. So neutral spine is we have this nice natural curve in our back. We're not popping or opening at the chest. Our rib cage is still knitted in nice and tight, pulling towards the hips. So if I can keep my neutral, again, hands can be by sides or they can always be on the hips to make sure nothing moves here. I'm going to try to hold that neutral, float the feet. Staying connected. So lifting through pelvic floor, connecting from hip to hip. That's our T-zone we want to focus on. Staying connected. Go and lower the feet. Lift up. Tap and lift. Lifting a little bit higher and a little bit higher each time if you can, using those hip flexors to lift. Legs are just straight, feet are parallel. You can turn out if you like. But trying to hold that neutral spine. If you already feel too much pain, you're just going to pull belly button into the spine, anchor yourself down into the mat, doing the same position. So imprint just gives you a little bit more support. Future goals are to be able to do this in a neutral spine though. Lower. As you lower down, think extending long out of those hips, flexing those hip flexors, extending the hips. Flex and extend. I like my hands on my hips here, really making sure, man, I can feel my body trembling. Lengthen 5 and 4 and 3. Woo, feeling the back working. 2 and 1. Good job. Lowering down if you want. Woo, pull those knees in. Give them a little rest. All right. We're gonna lengthen out again, finding your back either in that supported imprinted spine or activated neutral. We're gonna open the legs V, close, lift and lower. Open, close, lift and lower. Open, close. Reaching to the sky, lowering. Keeping those legs straight as you reach them towards the sky, making sure, again, the pelvis is immobilized. Trying to have both of the legs open up at the same rate. Try not to let the carriage move too much. We're trying to control the carriage, which means that we're not opening the legs and letting the carriage move. That was a no-no. So we go long, trying to keep the carriage right where it is on that open, right where it is on the close. And here's where we feel the carriage move. Length, open, close, and lift. 2 more. Any tension in that chest, try to soften it. Any stress or strain or pull in the face, especially around the eyes or in the jaw, try to soften that up as well. We lift up. That was the last one. We pull in. Whew, we're going to release. I'm going to roll up to the top. I'm going to add full resistance on this. I really want to feel some push on this. Last thing for the legs. Hold on. I want to go on to this side. Pushing back. Foot is going to go into the board. I want to keep myself at this nice bend. If you want, you can keep both hands on. We're going to be pressing back and releasing. Don't let the carriage bottom out though. Don't let it hit. So I'm going to press back, pull in, scooping in the belly on that pull back, pressing out, extend. Notice I'm staying nice and loaded on this front bent leg. I have my knee directly on top of the ankle. The movement is happening from this back hip and leg, pressing through glute, hamstring, quad. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. This is nice and slow. We've got 2 more. And 1 more from here. You're going to leave this back leg straight in extension. You're going to lift the front leg. You're going to lower yourself down into a bend. So a little bit more of a hinge through that upper body. So you're going to straighten the leg, look down at the knee, lifting and opening the chest. Lowering down, extending front leg. Lowering down. Try not to hollow out the chest. Down. 4. Down. That front quad's getting it right now. 3. As you lower down, try not to dump in that back, okay? So keep that belly nice and connected on that lift to keep you lifted out of that low back. This is the last one here. And we pull in to release. And walk to the other side. Other leg pushes back into the carriage. Ankle under knee. Back leg is bent directly under hip. From there, we go into that extension. And we lower down. Notice that upper body's completely still. Front leg is completely still. All of it's happening on that back leg. Shoulders down, collarbone wide. If you just wanted to hold on with one hand, Keep the chest a little bit more squared. You can just stabilize, left leg's moving, left hand is on foot bar. Stay lifted in that belly, 2 more. Last one, we stay back. And we go into that extension, looking down, lower back down onto that front leg. So back leg stays straight. Notice there's no movement in the carriage. It's being held in that extended position. 4 more. We go forward, lift the hips, straighten the legs, lower the hips down. And 3, down, and 2, lift, lift, down, and 1. And we lower ourselves down. We pull in the carriage, and we come on down for our stretch. Sitting down in carriage, feet together, knees are wide. You can do a little butterfly flight. I'm going to loosen up some of this resistance, just leave it on a 1 and a 2. And I'm just going to push away, get a little bit of a stretch here. Releasing the legs, we've got inner thighs, glutes, back, shoulders, all getting a nice release stretch here. Head stays down. Want to get into a little rotation, you can release that right hand, look behind you, rotating that upper body. Come back to center. Other hand goes behind, looking behind that left shoulder. And coming forward. And slowly release. Pull that belly button to spine. Slowly stack the spine all the way up to lift. And you're done. So, close to a 30-minute workout. Pretty much covered everything. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time. Take care.